Hey everybody, this is Kenny C here, and welcome to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio for an exclusive interview. My guest at this time is an Indy pro wrestler from North Carolina. She goes by the name of Alexis Parrish, and she is joining me right now. Hello.
Hello, Kenny. How are you?
I'm doing real good, and thank you for joining me for this interview.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I'm excited about it.
So let's go ahead and get started. How did your wrestling career get started?
I actually started dating my husband 3 years ago, and he has been wrestling for a total of 16 years. And I played softball when I was younger, and he told me that I should try out wrestling because it'd be something good to keep me in shape and to keep me in my athletic groove. And I've pretty much picked up from there. I've been wrestling for 2 years in November.
And who trains you to wrestle?
Myrick Moore trained me to wrestle, along with help from our other wrestlers, Rob Killjoy, my husband Wicked, Will Demented. Those are pretty much the ones that have trained me. But Myrick Moore is my trainer, head trainer.
Do you remember the first match you ever had? And if so, who was your opponent and where was it located and what was the company?
My first match was for the Southern Wrestling Association at the Greensboro Fair, and we had to wrestle right beside the Ferris wheel. And I wasn't even supposed to wrestle that night. We had a bunch of our wrestlers weren't able to make it. So my husband told me that I was going to have to put on my gear at the time that I was using the valet to wrestle, which I had been training for about 4 months. So my first match was against my husband, and I ended up winning by hitting him in the head with a cookie sheet. So that was definitely an experience to get to wallop my husband in the head.
How about that for a lasting impression, a first impression? Hitting him with a cookie sheet. That must have been like a hardcore, no-holds-barred type of match, wasn't it?
It was definitely interesting. Like I said, it was a fun crowd. Like I said, they were all just happy to be there because they were at the fair. And he come out talking about how men were better than women and everything else, and I had to go out there and show him that he was wrong. I did what I had to do to win.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. So, how would you describe your wrestling style? Do you consider yourself technically sound, a brawler? What's the best way to describe your wrestling style?
The best way to describe my wrestling style would probably be more of a brawler. I can be technical. I like the chain and, keep things technical. But with my body style, I'm not a toothpick. I'm more of a curvaceous, solid kind of girl. So I'm more of a brawler because it makes more sense. To me, I think it looks cool that some of the girls can do the high flying flicky stuff, and I can do some of that. But for me, it makes sense to be, the down and the brawler and the bad girl, the one that comes in and takes what she wants and does what she has to do to get what she wants.
When it comes to being the character in the wrestling shows, do you like being the baby face or do you like being the heel?
That's a hard question. There's no better feeling than having that eruption of the crowd when you come out of the curtain and they love you and you have them and they support you, and during a match they're behind you, and it's that feeling that you've got them. They love you to death. But at the same time, if you've had a bad, week with your everyday life, it's fun to go be a heel. You get to go out there and, be mad because during the week you got to deal with everyday people and you can't be rude. You can't, say things that you want to say. But in wrestling, you can use that to fuel yourself to be a heel, to make people hate you. Instead of just, like I said, that feeling of power, being able to have someone like you or to have someone hate you.
I think that wrestling would be considered your therapy. Just get your feelings out somehow.
It's true. Honestly, it helps a lot because I'm a mother of two and I'm a stay-at-home mom. So wrestling's pretty much my one day of the week that I'm not a mom, I'm not a wife, I'm Alexis Parrish for 15 minutes. It's my alter ego.
So, who do you consider as influences in your wrestling career?
Influences. My husband's definitely been a big influence on me. He's taught me so much about the business, like not just wrestling, but etiquette, the way things are supposed to be done, I really like Victoria. Her name's Tara now in TNA. I like her work style. My husband had me do research on Mae Young and the Fabulous Moolah, so I learned a lot about them when I first started coming to training, because my husband said it's very important to be able to know your history of wrestlers, because without them, then we wouldn't be where we were at today.
And interesting you bring up history. I'm sure there's a lot of talented wrestlers out there, but they don't know the history of wrestling. They don't know who paved the way for them. Do you think that's kind of something missing in wrestlers today?
Yes, sir. It's a very big thing missing, because of the way I understand it from what I've read and what my husband's told me. Wrestling today has changed so dramatically because of before you had to actually train and pay your dues. You had to do what people told you to do. You had to run errands. That's just like a lot of people don't know that some of the greatest people in our history were wrestlers. Abraham Lincoln, our president, was a professional wrestler. And it's just, most people don't know like little tidbit facts about stuff like that. And that wrestling before, people honestly believed that we were, they were wrestling each other. It was a big thing. Everywhere else, except the United States, sees wrestling as a sport. And in the United States, it's sports entertainment. Everywhere else, it's some kind of form of martial arts like karate or jiu-jitsu or all these different kinds of things. And now, in the U.S., it's just entertainment. It's looked down upon almost.
And that was a history lesson with Alexis Parrish. All right.
It's been beaten into me. My husband takes wrestling so serious, and I guess that's where I got lucky, because I'm surrounded by a great group of guys. My husband's given me some of the best indie wrestlers in the Carolinas to help teach me and train me and show me the way that things are supposed to be done right. I don't go and disrespect somebody on accident, or I don't go, mess something up that I don't need to, do.
All right, and let me ask you this. What do you like the most of being a wrestler? Do you like being on the road, being with your fellow wrestlers in the locker room, interacting with the fans? What do you like the most of being a wrestler?
I like the fact I'm a mother, so I'm a sucker for children anyways. It's fun to be able to see kids' faces because they get so into it. Because, some grown-ups still get into it, but children honestly believe what's going on. If you're a good guy, they're at your corner, and then when you come out for intermission, they want you to sign their autographs, take pictures. They want to grow up and be just like you. I mean, it's a good feeling to know that you've done something for that child, that you've entertained them, that you've taught them something. You're something positive for them to look up to. Instead of having to watch the stuff they have on TV nowadays that's violent and everything else, which I know wrestling is violent, but it's not as bad as some stuff they have to see.
Do you have any matches or shows you would like to promote that you have coming up? Yes,
sir. Actually, my husband and his family have been running a wrestling organization. This will be our 13th year anniversary this Saturday at the Forest City National Guard Armory in Forest City, North Carolina. We have ECW original Chris Hamrick coming in. He's going to be working. And then we have Jeff Hamrick, which is actually his cousin. We have Ken Magnum coming in. He works for CWA, that travels around on like Orangeburg and Columbia and all that good stuff. And then we have Lady Tapa coming in. She's actually the Barbarian's niece from the Powers of Pain. I'll be working her this Saturday. So that should be a good match.
Who are some of your favorite wrestlers you like being in the ring with?
One of my favorite wrestlers I like being in the ring with?
Yes.
Does it matter if it's male or female?
Don't matter.
Okay. One of the favorite matches I've ever had would probably be with the guy I first started wrestling with. His name is Will Demented. We grew up together. We went to school together. I've known him for 8-9 years, and we split apart. And then I got into wrestling, and he got into wrestling, and we got back together. And he was one of the first people I started doing matches with, besides my husband. And me and him just have such a good chemistry together because we've known each other so long. we can flow with each other. It's not like pressured or easy. It's very natural.
And what can people go to get in touch with you social media wise? Twitter, Facebook, or any other links people need to know?
I actually have a Facebook. I have a fan page. It's Alexis Parrish, AlexisParrish. And then if you want to find me on YouTube, I'm Alexis Parrish 6. Put a 6 on the end of it. Somebody already had my name.
What would your advice be to anyone out there that wants to pursue their career as a wrestler?
I say go for it. I mean, honestly, when you go out in everyday life, 5 out of 10 people that you tell is a professional wrestler is going to laugh at you or tell you that it's stupid. But if it's something that you want to do and it matters to you, then do it. Pursue it. Because as I said, it's addicting. I've never had, you always think about wrestling. It gets in your brain. You think about it all day. You think about the match you have that week. You think about your gear, how you should look, how you shouldn't eat that because you're going to look bad in your gear. It's such a wonderful sport, and it just engulfs you in it. That's all pretty much you can think about. It's horrible. It's a great addiction, but honestly, it just ruins your mind to think about wrestling all the time.
Now, wrestling, like a lot of sports, the injuries, the pain, it comes with the territory. How do you deal with the injuries and pain that goes along being in this business?
Well, lucky enough, I have not been injured yet wrestling. But knock on wood, for 2 years I've been injury-free. My husband, like I said, he's been wrestling for 16 years. He's had 5 knee surgeries, a back surgery, and a broken neck. Like you said, there are the downsides to wrestling. I guess it comes with the territory, like you said, in wrestling, because you know it's going to hurt. And that's probably my number one pet peeve when I talk to someone about wrestling is, oh, it's fake. How is it fake? And that's the first thing I tell someone is, well, if you think it's fake, that's cool. If you want to, our next show is on this date. Why don't you come up and train, and I'll show you it's not fake. Because if you do hurt, you do bruise, you are sore. You said if you land the wrong way, simplest of moves can go wrong, and you land the wrong way and hurt yourself. My husband broke his neck off a suplex. It's one of those, you love it so much, you're willing to risk it. And then when you're in the ring, and you're going so fast, your adrenaline's pumping, so you honestly don't feel that bad to the next day. That's when everything starts kicking in, that you've wrestled or you took this move or got hit by something.
And who are some wrestlers out there that you haven't had a chance to work with but would like to work with someday?
I would love to work with, I've been looking her up on YouTube, and I know she is a part of AIWF wrestling. Casey Carlisle looks like she's a real competitor to be with. You know, she has talk, she has the walk, she can wrestle. I had the great opportunity of wrestling Mia Svensson a couple weeks back at Carolina Ring Wars. I said I greatly appreciated working her because she's the Mid-Atlantic AIWF Women's Champion. And I'm looking forward to hopefully working with her more in the future. I'd also, Crazy Mary Dobson, Rebby Sky, a lot of the good girls that are going around right now.
Now, women wrestling has certainly come a long way, dating back to the Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young days. You've seen a lot more women wrestlers get an opportunity to wrestle. You even got all-woman wrestling shows such as WSU, Shimmer, and now Shine Wrestling, which is located in Florida. Is that something that you would consider being in one of those 3, or if not all 3 shows in the future?
Yes, sir. If I got the opportunity to go work on one of those shows, I promise you I would pack my bags and leave tomorrow. That would be a great honor and opportunity to learn and to be with those girls because they've made it there. They've made it to the bigger women promotions. And that's where I'm working my goal to hopefully make it somewhere like that.
And as a fan, from a fan standpoint, what is your thoughts on the wrestling you see on TV, such as the WWE and the Impacts, and how they use their female wrestlers?
Oh, goodness. WWE. Honestly, the only female wrestling that I can watch is on TNA because they actually let their girls wrestle. It's not 2 or 3 minute matches where it's just, them barely doing anything and then it's cut off. I guess because they made Raw 3 hours longer now, they've made the women matches a little bit longer. But in TNA, they actually let the girls work. And the girls can work. It's not just little itty-bitty girls in, skimpy outfits going out there and wrestling for 3 minutes. I think it's almost degrading to women wrestling because it makes it look we can't.
Oh, absolutely. Even with the 3 hour show, I guess the diva portion of the show still not that long, and the storyline's just not all that intriguing. But when you look at Impact, they give plenty of time to perform, and it's definitely worth the watch. It's definitely worth the watch.
Yes, sir.
So, I want to thank you so much, Alexis, for joining me for this interview, and everybody be on the lookout for Alexis this weekend. The company that she mentioned is celebrating their 13th year anniversary. Congratulations to them. I want to thank you for being on the show, Alexis, and best of success to you going forward. Do you have any final words and shout-outs?
Just like I said, everybody, if you're in the Forest City area this weekend, Forest City, North Carolina, come on down to the Armory and watch some honestly amazing, family-friendly wrestling. You can't beat it. Tickets are only $6, and then you're going to have action-packed cards.
It's definitely worth the check out and support your local indie wrestling shows, no matter where it may be. Indie wrestling paves the way for the wrestlers you see on TV today. Let's just put it that way.
Yes, sir.
That will conclude the interview, and thank you everyone for listening.